SuperTalk.com. It's officially spooky season here in Mississippi, and I know statewide, from the top to the bottom, there's a lot of haunted forest and hayrides and all the things to get out and do. But joining us today is Curtis. He is the owner of Psychopath there in Ellisville, and it is an extreme haunted attraction that has both indoor and outdoor sections. So welcome, Curtis.
Hi.
I am so excited to have you. I know you're excited. It's finally this time of year. How long have you been gearing up for, the start of spooky season?
Well, this year a little bit longer than normal because it's season 13. So that goes without saying. I wanted season 13 to be a little something extra, a little something special. So I've been working on this season since late January.
Okay, let's go back 13 years ago, Curtis. Where were you when you decided that Ellisville, Mississippi needs a psychopath?
I was actually just starting my photography and videography business. And look, I've been in the business, I guess, for more than 20 years. 19 years ago, started running Camp Fear with somebody that was working at the Ellisville State School, and we started running that as more of a charitable haunted house. And being for the state, we could only open the 28th through the 31st, and there were limitations on how scary you could be, of course. It was more for fun. And then I ran one year in Augusta called Krill Creek, and just decided it was time to open the one that I had, always in the back of my head of what I would do, how I would try my best to change the industry, because I was never really satisfied with the haunted houses I would go to. Short tours, long lines, overpriced tickets, and most of them didn't have shirts, didn't play score music, and very limited on what the actors were allowed to do, and I just wanted to break every rule I possibly could.
So if someone comes to Psychopath, when's y'all's opening weekend?
Well, we've been open weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all of September. And we always start the season off with what's called Free Friday. It was a free open night. Rather than just tell people how good it is, I do that so that people can come out and see for themselves with little to risk, no financial risk at all. So free tickets. But now that October has kicked off, as of the 30th, a couple nights ago, we started our 38 nights in a row stretch. So we're open 7 nights a week right now, all the way through November 6th.
Okay, and now let's talk about all the rules that you broke. You promised me twice already, Curtis, that nobody's ever died going through your Psychopath. So we're going to go ahead and just lay that out there, because I don't know. So what rules have you broken, or at least how is it different? How is Psychopath different than any other, I guess, haunted attraction that we may go to in the Magnolia State?
Both preparation and performance. The preparation part, it's closer related to a play, like at a little theater. Like as far as tryouts, rehearsals, the time spent developing characters or doing our best job at mocking up characters that are iconic from horror movies. And then on the performance level, just, when you go in, you have to watch approximately a 4.5-minute video, and that video is of someone in character, so it still fits in with the theme and the feel of being in the attraction, but it's giving a very honest, warning or a heads up that we do make contact. We may touch or grab. We even take people and put them in a different set, where they will either later encounter their group or let them feel like they broke away and got away and caught up with their group. They do get bloody. It's fake, of course. Although we have fun telling some of the people the last couple nights that it was pig's blood, but it's fake. And but you have to agree, that you're going in the woods late at night, so there's a certain amount of risk that has nothing to do with what we're doing anyway. Because when you're walking through the woods, where there are stumps, there's inclines, declines, branches, low-hanging branches. There's a little bit of a risk there as far as walking into a branch or something. But you got to stay close to your tour guide. And we explain all that in a video. Once you watch the video, if you like what you've seen, you're okay with it, you're willing to go in and get scared to death, then you sign the waiver, just saying that you agree with the video, and then your tour begins. And one of the rules we've broken is the national average of length of tour, believe it or not, is somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes. And I always thought that was really short for people who wait in line for hours and pay an average of $20 a ticket. You got to give them something, and that's why we like the characters to make contact. It breaks the fourth wall, it gets them involved, makes the customers part of the act, and I think they really have come to love that. And our customer base is pretty well groomed now to accept that, and they come for that now. And then the longer tours, we double or triple the length of the national average of tours, because we're anywhere from, if people are running, it shortens the tour down to around 25 minutes. But if they take their time, they follow their tour guide, don't pass the tour guide, and let the whole thing develop as it climaxes towards the end, like a horror movie does, until you get to that climactic ending. We like the tour to feel the same way as a horror movie, and yet you're living it rather than watch it. And the tour is designed to last as long as 40 minutes, but you can't keep some groups slow.
How big are the groups, Curtis, that go through Psychopath there in Ellisville?
Now, on the slower nights towards the beginning of the season, we were starting with 10 to 15 people. And we like to start with that every night, but we adjust on the fly really well to when we get the line. You're talking about a line that would normally last 4 to 6 hours. We can cut that wait time in half just by taking bigger groups. And so we'll take as many as 20, 25. Last night we even took, or not last night, but the night before, we even took a group of 33. So everything's set up to be able to adjust quickly, whether it's size of group or intensity. Because if somebody brings in, one of their children that they're so small they even hold them because they're like 3 years old, we adjust on the fly. So that way they can have a good time without, having forever nightmares.
Well, Curtis, I'm bringing all the babies then. I'm bringing all the babies. But someone did ask, maybe what is your average? Like, what would you say you would recommend bringing? I know you mentioned the younger children, but who would this be? Like preteens, teens, older? Where's like a good line for a good time?
This is really, really hard to describe, but I'll do it as quickly as I can. And I hope that everybody understands what I'm saying when I say that the sets that are designed a little bit more complex, with a little bit more, I should say, complexity with imagination than your typical. It's not a jump scare hunt where everything just jumps out of the dark and scares you to death. We can all do that. We grew up doing that to our brothers, our sisters, our friends. So if you're paying that money, you're waiting in line, you want to see something that you may feel you can't do. So each set's kind of a skit, and it touches, for different reasons, it touches on the nerves of all ages. So while it may work and scare somebody really good, or at least impress them if they're 45, the 5-year-old won't get it, so they're not as scared.
Gotcha.
The only thing they're scared of is the fact that, you can hear the score music, and the score music is very reminiscent of iconic horror movies, but I edit all of that all year, basically, myself. And so we really try our hardest, putting no cost, letting no cost kind of, redirect us away from our goal, which is entertaining all ages. It's got to be able to. And we monitor the line ourselves. Where we stand at right before each tour begins, we can tell who's coming in, so we're able to make adjustments. But I would say that, I don't know, the people that seem like they get entertained the most, I really hate to sound like I'm trying to cover everybody, but after a certain age, they're complimenting us and saying, that was really good or unique, and you guys did a good job. And then the younger, like the teens, they're scared. They're outside, still running from the characters, because some of the characters will follow you all the way back out to the front. And, of course, young enough, they're scared of everything. So it's...
How many do you expect to come through, Curtis, this season and your 38-day stretch?
This season, wow. We've been averaging like 8,000 to 10,000 by the time the end of the season's hit. But now I've started the last 2 years to see nights where we'll see 4 times as many as we used to. When a big night used to be 200, a big night now might be between 600 and 800. And with being open every night, that's going to jump. It could be in at the average of 6, closer to the average of 6, but it might get as high as around 8,000 this year.
Well, Curtis, how do we find out more about Psychopath there in Ellisville?
The best ways, and I feel like they're also the more entertaining ways. I mean, of course, there's the old-fashioned calling or texting me, because the business number is 601-316-5384. But the more entertaining ways to kind of view, so you get a feel for what to expect style-wise, the YouTube channel, which is Psychopath, 2 words, not the word psychopath, all caps, and maybe follow it with in Ellisville, and it'll take you to the right YouTube channel, and the same with Facebook.
All righty. Well, I appreciate your time, Curtis. Congratulations on year 13. Go scare the bejesus out of everybody. You promised me no one died, so I appreciate that, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity.
I probably won't go, but I hope someone does and lets me know all about it. Stick with us. We got more.